Assalamu alaikum student. This is the video lecture number 2 of week number 14. We are continuing the same chapter number 5, and we are discussing the second part of the topic conservation of linear momentum, which is the fluid flow through the pipe bends. Okay, so in the previous slide, okay, the topic we are going to cover today is the fluid flow through pipe bend, and obviously we are focusing on the practice problems. So this is the examples of pipe bends and the anchoring force that I showed to you in the previous video lecture. And now we are going to solve a problem. Okay, here, so now we are going to solve a problem, okay, for the bend. So it is written an elbow, let's say of primary piping, is used to deflect water flow at a velocity of 17 meter per second. So as we all know, the pipe fittings are always used to reduce the pipe flow, the flow of pipe, or to change the velocity, or to change the pressure. And the second purpose of the fitting is to change the direction of the flow. Okay, so bend is basically are used for this purpose. Okay, so here they used a term, deflect the water. So basically we use bends to change the direction of the flow. So here the term they use is used to deflect the water flow. Excuse me. Okay, so the piping diameter is equal to 700 mm, which is given. Okay, the gauge pressure inside the pipe is about to 16 megapascal. So you must be aware of what is the gauge pressure, and what is the atmospheric pressure, what is the absolute pressure, what is the negative pressure, what is the positive pressure. I believe you now you are aware of all these types of pressure. Okay, so the gauge pressure at the inlet of the pipe bend is given as 16 megapascal at the temperature of 290 degrees centigrade. Okay, it's a very high temperature water. Okay, okay, fluid is of constant density. Okay, the fluid has a constant density at temperature 290 degrees centigrade, which is 720 kilogram per meter cube. Okay, the angle of the elbow is 45 degrees. So angle is given here. Okay, so now let's see what we have to do. Calculate the force on the wall of a deflector elbow. Okay, that is calculate vector F3. So we have to, let's see a picture. So this is the elbow. So uh, the angle which is given, that is, if you can take the angle. So this is basically a 45-degree angle. Okay, this is 45 degree. This is 45 degree. Okay, so that means the angle here is also 45 degree. Okay, so this is the force at point B, okay, which is F3. Okay, this is the force basically which is exerting the force on the pipe bend. Okay, and the you see the flow is exiting through the elbow with an angle of 45 degree. Okay, so here we can make this is 45 degree. Okay, and same here, this is 45 degree. Same here. Okay. So this is going to be 45 degree. So this will be also 45 degree. Okay. So we are making two components, or sorry, three components. So this is our X and this is our Y. All right. So these are the two components of the flow. Okay. And there is a Z component also. So here this is basically, okay, let's go. So prior to solve this problem, we need to make some assumptions. Okay, so what are the assumptions we will make? The flow is steady. With respect to time, the flow is not changing. That means the velocity is constant. Okay, the frictional loss are negligible. Okay, the loss through the pipe, okay, is negligible. Okay, the weight of the elbow is negligible. So because you see the weight of the fluid is acting downward, na? So weight of the fluid and weight of the elbow, both are negligible. We are not considering in the first part, the weight of the elbow is negligible. In the second part, the weight of the water in the elbow is also negligible. Okay, because it also has an impact on it. So but to make the calculation easier and simplified, we are neglecting these factors, and also we are considering the flow is steady, okay, and there is no friction loss. When we say there is no friction loss, the flow is steady, that means the V1 is equals to V2, okay, if the cross section area is same. And second, when there is no friction loss, that means P1, okay, so P1 is equals to P2. There is no pressure drop across the elbow. Okay, so let's move forward. All right, so here uh, we take the elbow as the control volume. Okay, so we are taking the elbow as a control volume. Okay, the control volume is shown at the picture, so that this dotted line is basically indicating a control volume. Okay, so we are analyzing all the forces which are acting on this control volume. The factor which are out of this control volume, the forces which are acting out of this control volume, we are not going to analyze, or we are not going to include in the expression. So only the forces which are affecting or acting on this control volume, that force, those forces only we will consider. Okay, so the momentum equation, okay, is a vector equation, so it has three components. Okay, so definitely x, y, and z, but we are considering only x and y component. Okay, so here is saying z, but we are considering y. I'm taking it y. Okay, x and y coordinate, and I'm taking it as a y. This is y component, and this is also this is point 1 and point 2. So this is cross section 1, and this is cross section at point 2. Okay, and this angle which is given, it is 45 degree. This is 45 degree. Okay, so so here we need to write down the symbols. It seems it is not regular symbols that we use for pressure, velocity, and flow. Okay, here we have some abbreviation. So this is pressure force. Okay, the pressure force is indicating as Fs. Okay, the pressure force, okay, is indicating as the Fs, or this is also basically a surface force. So what is the force which is acting at the surface? That is basically a pressure force. Okay, so the pressure force is equals to force into pressure into surface area, surface cross sectional area. Okay, not to the cross sectional area. Okay, this is the pressure force, and P is stand for pressure. Okay, and cross-sectional area is indicating with S. Okay, the rate of momentum, okay, H. Okay, so since it is at section 1, so it is H1. Since it is at section 2, so it is H2. Okay, the rate of momentum, that is m dot v. Okay, m dot v, or m multiplied by v. Okay, the flow velocity is indicating with w. Okay, w1, w2 is the flow velocity. Okay, and fv is basically seems to be the weight of the liquid, weight of the water. Okay, so here this is the net force which is acting on the this is the net force acting on the surface of the elbow, okay, by the fluid. So here let's analyze the forces. Okay, so the principle of linear momentum. How do we do? How do we analyze the phenomena? By using the principle of conservation of linear momentum. Okay, first we analyze the net force acting in the x direction is equal to rate of change of momentum in the x direction, and net force acting in the y direction is equal to rate of change of momentum in the y direction. If there is a z direction, so we can go with the z direction as well. Okay, so here we are going to analyze the net force in the, so you see this is the principle net force. Since we have a three forces, so sigma force is equals to rate of change of momentum in the x direction. So this is basically the, this is what, this is the conservation of linear momentum equation. Okay, this is what, this is the conservation of linear momentum equation. Sigma force is equals to rate of change of momentum. Now let's see what are the forces acting on this surface and what are their magnitude. So what is our objective? Our objective is to calculate the Fs. Okay, the force which is acting on the surface of the elbow. Okay, so what is the force acting on the surface of the elbow? So that is basically F3. So what is the component of F3? One component is F F3x, F3x, and the second component is F3y. Okay, this is F3y. We are not considering z component here because we do not see any force acting in this direction. Okay. All right. So here, all right. So here we are going to see that uh, what is the magnitude of the force exerted by the fluid, okay, on the surface of this elbow. So here the net force is equal to change in momentum, rate of change of momentum. So that is, so what, we basically, what is our objective? Our objective is to calculate F3x. Okay, so we separated F3x from this equation. So the equation become F1x plus F2x minus H2x move to the other side, H2x plus H1x move to the other side, become positive. Okay, where now we are going to find out the value of each component. What is the magnitude of this? What is the magnitude of this? What is the magnitude of this component? Okay, so where F1x is basically is the pressure force. Okay, as I told you before. So Fs is indicating as a pressure force. Okay, so the pressure force is pressure into surface area. Okay, so this is the pressure which is given 16. So what was the pressure given? Let's see, it is 16 megapascal. 16 into 10 to the power 6 pascal. Okay, so you must make sure the units are properly transformed into SI system or FPS system, whatever the system you are using to solve your problem. So this is 16. The megapascal, mega means 60. It's here. So 16 megapascal into the area was given. Okay, the 700 millimeters. So we change into the cross section area. It has become 0.385. Okay, when we multiplied them together, finally we got the pressure in Newton, okay, which is equal to 6.15 into 10 to the power 6. Okay, now this is the force which is acting in the x direction. So this is our x direction, sorry, and this is our y direction. So what are the forces acting in x direction? Fs, that F1x we have calculated, and there is another component of Fs2. This is the section 2. Okay, at section 2, the Fs is the surface force due to pressure is. So if you make the component of this force, okay, so suppose this is the force, okay, make the component, uh, okay, make the component like this. Okay, so this is the component and this is the component. So this is the angle which is given. Okay, if this is 45 degree, so this is also 45 degree. Okay, is known. This is 45 degree. All right, so this is our fx component at point 2. Okay, so this is fs or f2x. This is f2x at point 2. Okay, so this is in negative direction. Okay, so that's why we took it negative here. Okay, since it is in the opposite negative x direction, so that's why we took it negative. And the pressure into s, the pressure is given at the exit. So what is the pressure is given at the exit at point 2? So let's go back and see. The pressure at the exit is okay, so the pressure, only one pressure is given, and we made some assumptions that there is no friction loss. That means the pressure at the inlet and pressure at the exits are same. So that means P1 and P2 that we made assumptions are same. So the same pressure we can use it here. Okay, so it means, so this pressure will become 16 megapascal. Okay, multiplied by surface area this divided by 2, but this pressure force has a component, okay, that is 45 degree. So what is this component? This will become cos. Okay, so this will become ps. Okay, so this will become p into s surface area into cos of 45 degree. Okay, so the cos of 45 degree, it will become 1 by 2. So this 1 by 2 is because of cos of 45 degree, and the minus sign because it is in the opposite direction, and when you multiply them together you will get this value. Okay, and divide by 2, the finally we got the minus 4.35 to the power minus 6 Newton. So we got F1x and F2x. Now we are going to calculate x2 h2x. So what is h2x? So h1 first, h1x at point 1. What is the momentum at the inlet? The momentum at the inlet, the mass flow rate that we can calculate. It's given. Okay, it's all given, right? So mass flow rate is equals to rho AV. So here you can see mass flow rate will break into density, which was given, surface area, the diameter was given, and the velocity in the x direction. That is W1. W1 is acting in the x direction, right? So W1 or W1x are same. So W1 and W1x are same. W1x are same, right? So here W1x and W1x squared. So it become rho s W1x square. We substituted the value because all the values are given, and finally we end up with the momentum, rate of momentum at the inlet of the elbow or at point 1 is equal to 8 into 10 to the power 4, okay, Newton. Okay, so next, the rate of momentum the is equal to the mass flow rate into W2x. So W2x here you can see it is making an angle. Okay, so here you can see it is making an angle with this surface. So this is the direction. This is also a positive direction. Okay, because this is the component. This is our H2x. This is H2x. The rate of momentum at point 2. So this is equal to what it is making an angle theta here. Okay, it is making 45 degrees this one, then 45 degrees this one also. Okay, if you are taking this angle, so consider it as the cos theta. Okay, so that means m dot w2x cos 45 or rho s w square is equals to cos 45. Okay, so the w is same because there is no area change. The uniform area of the pipe. So W1 is equals to W2. Okay. So finally, we substituted the value and we end up with this value for the H2X. Okay. And we substitute these values in this equation. Okay. And we got the value of F3X, which is we got the value of H3x, which is equal to this. Okay, so here all right, so F3x we have calculated. Okay, now we are going to analyze the net forces acting in the y direction. So this is our x direction and this is our y direction. So the conservation of linear momentum equation we have already analyzed and developed in x direction. Now we are going to analyze the conservation of momentum equation in the y direction. So in the y direction, so net force acting in the y direction is equal to rate of change of momentum in the y direction. So what are the net forces in the y direction? So this is point 1 and this is point 2 and this is the point where basically the maximum force exerted by the fluid on the elbow. Okay, so which is F3. So this we are considering this is F3. Okay, so this is F3. We call it F3. Okay. So here we are taking a component. So this is all. It also has a two component x and y. Okay. So this is x and this is y. And this at point 1. Okay. There is no y component. At point 2 we have a y component. This one has a y component. Okay. So this is up. Okay. And this one has a y component. This surface force due to pressure. Okay, so now let's analyze, and this velocity has a component. Okay, so this velocity has a component. So let's analyze. Okay, so the net force acting in the y direction is equal to rate of change of momentum in the y direction. So F1, okay, so our objective is to find F3. So separate all those values. So Here F1 I took F3y to the other side and took all the values here. So F3 is equal to this equation. So now we are going to find out the value of F1y, F2y, H2y and H1y. Okay, to substitute the value of this, first F1y. So F1y, since at point 1 there is no y component. You can see, is there any force acting in the y direction at this cross section? No. So that's why F1y is 0. Okay, now come to the point 2. This is our point 2 or the position 2. So at point 2, F2y, that is basically the surface force. Surface force due to pressure, you see the arrow is coming downward. Okay, that means it is in the negative direction. So this is the negative because of the force in the downward direction. Okay, same, the surface force pressure into S, and this component has a, this force has a component of the force, okay, the P2 and surface area at point 2. So the component is cos, or you can take sine, okay, the sine theta, sine 45. So sine 45 is under root 2, okay. When you solve it, you will get it minus 4.35 to the power 6 Newton is the force, okay. So this is the force we have calculated. Now the force, now the change in momentum, the force H1y. Okay, so it also has a component, but it is acting vertically upward. Okay, so this is positive. Okay, so this is positive. So now we are going to calculate the momentum in y direction at point 1 and momentum at point 2 in y direction. So at point 1, there is no velocity. You see, there is no velocity in the y direction. Okay, at point 1. So that's why the moment rate of momentum is 0. Okay, okay. So and now move on to point 2. So at point 2 we have a component of this velocity W2. Okay. So mass flow rate multiplied by the component of velocity, which is cos 45. Okay. So if you solve them together, so finally you will end up with the value 5.66 into 10 to the power 4 Newton. Okay. Now the component of the net force exerted by the fluid on the surface of elbow are known. F3y is known, and F3x we have calculated in the previous slide. Okay. So now we can find out the resultant force. Okay. How we can find that? So this minus is not because of, this minus is not because of this minus. Okay, this minus is basically is showing is the reactive force. Okay, all right. So here net force will be equal to under root, so we can write down F3 is equals to under root F3x chi square or plus F3 y chi square. Okay, so if you substitute these two values, finally you will end up with a magnitude. Okay, and that will be equal to this value. Okay, so this is the equation, this is the x component. Okay, and this is the y component that we can see here, and we can easily calculate the magnitude of the force acting at this point. Okay, so this is the end of the lecture number 2.